weekly assignment on operators. There are 7 operators, and the first one that I did was the arithmetic operator. And to start with this, the goal was to put in the different operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, and exponent, and then just get the answer for it on the right side. But I didn't want it to just show the answer. I wanted it to show the equation, like the expression, and then the answer. So to start, I used a as one of the variables and b as the second variable. And a has the value of 15 and b has the value of 12. And to get the addition operator, you have to use add as a variable and a plus b as the value. So when you use a add, you can put it, when you print it, you can just print add, and it would show you the answer for it. The subtract operator, you use a minus b. You print the sub, like the name of the variable. So I use subtract rather than just typing whole subtraction. And it gave me the difference, which is 3. The multiplication, that's 180. And in division, there's 2 different types. Division has float and floor. The float division will give you an answer that's a decimal number. So basically a number with the remainder on it. And then the second division, with these 2 backslashes, it will give you the number, but instead of having the, it would just be a whole number, and it wouldn't put the remainder on it. And you know the difference between the float division only has 1 backslash, and the floor division has 2 backslashes. Next one is modulus, which gives you the absolute value of the numbers, which is 3. And you can see that on the right. And then the exponents, and using that you have to use 2 multiplication signs. And then on the left it gives you the value right here, which is like the number. The next operator is relational operators. The 2 variables that I used were the same thing from before, and I just wanted to print out how the 2 numbers compare to each other. So the first operator is greater than, there's less than, there's equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. And the first one is less than. And the output that would come out of these operators is true or false. So when I put in if a is less than b, it tells me it's false. And then the next one is a greater than b, that's true. Is a equal to b, that's false. So it would determine on its own if it's true or false, and it would tell you. The next operator is and or not, which is the logical operators. And these ones, they compare the 2. So I compared a and b, which is false, a or b, which is true. And then the next one is bitwise operators, and this one it turns the values that I had into bits. So instead of giving you true or false, it would give you a number. And instead of using and or not, because it used the same thing as the logical, which is and or, but instead of writing out and, it would use the symbol and, the line for or, and then for the rest of them, it has all the different signs for them. And then the last 2 is just moving the integer numbers to the left or to the right. So for the first one, a and b, it tells you it's 12. A or b, that's 15, is equal to a, that's... The next operator is assignment operators, and instead of it being simple expressions like addition and subtraction, you can just write out the value. You could just write it simply: x is equal to 12, and I want you to add, it's supposed to add the number. So what it's doing is taking the value 12 and it's adding it to 1 and then printing the value. And then the next one, subtract and add, but subtract by 1 and then put the value, multiply by 2, put the value, and then you have the answers on the right, 12, 13, 24. The next operator is special operators. These ones compare them to just like the bitwise and the logical operators. And this one gives you true or false rather than just numbers. And instead of using and or not, it says is not. So it's asking, is the first variable, is it the same? Or is not, are they not the same? So it tells you, is A1 not B1? It's false because they both have the same value. And then the second one, A2 is B2, which is true because they have the same value. And then A3 is B3, and that's false because it looks at the two lists as two different, they're not the same thing. Strings and integers, they're seen as the same thing, but lists are not. The next operator is membership. Instead of using numbers as the value for the variables, I use a string and I use a dictionary. So in these ones compare the two, and it's asking is t in the value in the variable a, and it tells you that's true. Or is z in the variable a, which I wrote Thanksgiving, and no, z isn't in Thanksgiving, and it tells you it's false. Is giving in a, is giving not in a, and that's false because giving is in it. So it's basically just asking, is a certain value or an object in the list or in the string, and it would tell you true or false. The next operator is precedence operator, and in this one it uses the expression, it's arithmetic too, but instead of just using addition and subtraction only in one only in one line, you can do a whole expression. So you can do a plus b times c divided by d. But it's not a calculator, so you have to make sure that you're doing the right, you're writing it out correctly, because if you write it out wrong, you can get the wrong answer. So for this one, I put the values a, the variable a has a value of 10, the variable of b, 50, c, 20, and then I wrote it out. E equals a plus b times c divided by d, which is 40. So it's basically you're just writing out the expressions, putting it in the right order, and then it will just give you an answer. And then the last operator is associativity. And then this is almost like the precedence, but this one you have to make sure that you're writing out the right way, or else you're going to get the wrong answer, or you're going to get the wrong answer, but it's going to look at it differently. So I remember like using PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, like using the right arithmetics in the right order. If you write it out the wrong way, it's not going to be right. And yeah, those are all the 7 operators.